Prices for the 2024 C8 Corvette have gone up recently across the board, and you will see more price increases during the 2024 year, especially for the Z06. The question is, how much will the prices go up? What I want to focus on in this video is the pricing for the Z06 and the reasons why the starting price will go up dramatically in the coming year and into the 2025 model year that will be coming out in the fall of 2024. I predict the starting MSRP on a 2025 Z06 will reach over 122,000 US from the current MSRP of 111,795. That's about a 10% increase, and here's why. For one, it's almost a foregone conclusion that the GM factory workers will succeed in getting a substantial wage increase from their ongoing United Auto Workers strike. They will get large raises because 1, inflation, 2, large profits from the automakers, and 3, the leverage that they have because of the short inventory and strong demand for new cars. The UAW is asking for a 30% increase in wages over 4 years plus other demands. I think a realistic settlement will be around 20%, and that's in line with what Ford is proposing. So at 20% increase over 4 years plus pension plus health benefits, that wage increase is going to be closer to 30% over 4 years or 7.5% per year. The cost in labor to build a Z06, it's not easy to figure what that is unless you work at GM's accounting department. But based on research I've done on the forums and online, the cost in labor to build a new car is typically between 10 and 20%. So assuming the cost to build a new Corvette is 15%, that means the cost to build a Z06 is approximately $16,800 in labor, with a 75% increase in wages and benefits as a result of the new collective agreement. You're looking at an increase of $1,300 in labor costs. GM is going to pass that cost increase on to the consumer. Okay, the second factor I want to discuss is inflation. Now, this year we had record inflation. I think the rate of inflation will be less this year. According to Forbes, they estimate the consumer price index for rate inflation in 2024 to be 2.5%. And 2.5% on 111,795 works out to $2,800. So just due to the rate of inflation, you can estimate that the cost of the Z06 will go up by $2,800. And so with the increase in the cost of labor of $1,300 and due to increase in inflation of $2,800, we're looking at approximately $4,000 increase just on the increased labor costs and inflation. And so $4,000 increase for those to me seems pretty reasonable so far. And so the third factor is part shortages. There are part shortages throughout the industry. For example, carbon fiber in particular is high in demand and low in supply. We know there are Z06s that are just sitting at the factory and just waiting for the carbon fiber parts to come in. And while the starting price of a Z06 does not include the highly expensive carbon fiber options such as the carbon fiber wheels and the carbon fiber aero package, which will greatly increase the MSRP with those options, the fact that there are carbon fiber shortages will be enough to raise the starting price of the Z06, even though the Z06 does not really have a whole lot of carbon fiber to start with before the options. Just how much will GM raise the price on the Z06 due to part shortages? It wouldn't surprise me if GM raised the price for part shortages, especially on carbon fiber, by a few $1,000s at a minimum. Okay, and the fourth thing that I want to talk about is the price elasticity of demand. So the price elasticity of demand is a measurement of the change in demand for a product in relation to a change in its price. So normally when the price goes up for a product, the demand usually goes down. However, for some products, they are inelastic, meaning despite price increases, consumers will still have a strong demand for that product and they will continue to buy them. So good examples are fuel and food. Price of fuel goes up, people will still buy fuel because they need to buy fuel. And for a lot of people, you might as well put the Z06 in that same category as food and fuel. They just got to have it. And so the Z06 is inelastic, meaning GM can raise the price and there will still be a strong demand for the Z06. The demand for the Z06 is so strong that the market is inelastic to any price increases by GM. GM knows this, and they're going to want to increase their profits. Also have to consider later in 2024, the much anticipated ZR1 will finally be available. The 2025 ZR1 is expected to start at $150,000 US, but I think it will start at much higher at $160,000 because the demand for the ZR1 is so high. You thought people were going crazy over the Z06. Just wait till the ZR1 comes out, and people are just going to go crazy for an all-wheel drive version of the Z06. Like, it's going to be nuts. So there's going to be a huge demand for the ZR1. Like, even in my area, the biggest Corvette dealership wouldn't even take any more deposits on the ZR1. Like, the demand is so strong. So if the ZR1 starts at $160,000, which is what I think it will start at, then the 2025 Z06 starting price of $122,000 sounds about right to me. Because if you remember, back in 2019, the Z06 had a starting price of $85,000, and the ZR1 had a starting price of just under $122,000. So there's about a $38,000 difference in MSRP. And so that's pretty similar to the pricing between the 2025 Z06 and the 2025 ZR1. With all these factors put together, the new collective agreement, inflation, the part shortages, the strong demand for the Z06 globally, the release of the ZR1 and its pricing, I think the 2025 C8 Corvette Z06 will see a huge price increase in its starting price, and it'll go up by at least 10% to $122,000 US. It's just that good of a car to justify such a large price increase from the 2024 year. Well, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one.